to do it. So I get a text from their mom yesterday, and they said, how about this? If the Bengals win, a little bet here for you, Nate. If the Bengals win, we're going to have you give us a shout-out on the show. Give you a shout-out, a real shout-out. If the Bills win, they're going to bring over some nice homemade toffee, some of this dessert that we had. It was outstanding. By the way, their mom made it. I'll give you kids credit, but your mom made it, and you're going to give me some nice toffee if the Bills win. So I said, I'll take that bet yesterday. I'll take it. It's a win-win for me. Well, it turns out here on the Nate Brown Show this Monday, I don't get my homemade toffee dessert, and I got to give a shout-out to the coolest kids I know. That's what they told me. The coolest kids I know outside of my own daughters. Hate to break it to you. Luke and Jonathan, the Bengals fans of Rapid City, congratulations. I hope you enjoy the Bengals going up against the Chiefs now Sunday. And will I root for your Bengals? Maybe, just maybe. But we're off and running on a Monday. The Nate Brown Show ready to go, brought to you in part by the Rehab Doctors. When it comes to pain relief without surgery, that's the team you want to see in Rapid City. The Rehab Doctors for pain relief without surgery, neck pain, back pain, muscle pain, leg pain. They take care of you. I've been there myself. Learn more at therehabdoctors.com and take your first step to feeling better at therehabdoctors.com. Getting us started on a Monday, off and running. See, I got to take grief from the audience here on the program on the text line about, the Bills and whoever else. I mean, we got Chiefs fans all over the place here. And I got to take grief in my own house. I got to take grief in my own house, and I don't even get dessert to start my Monday. Nonetheless, I've got a good show lined up for you. We're going to talk Bills reaction from Buffalo tonight. Ryan O'Halloran's on. The Bills go down, and there was some fireworks there after, on the sideline with Stephon Diggs and the whole deal. Ryan O'Halloran's on tonight from Buffalo News, columnist covering the game yesterday. Mike Golic Jr. is going to stop in, one of our best analysts when it comes to football. Mike Golic Jr. on tonight, NFL analyst. He's on the way. John Stiegelmeier is going to join us live tonight. We had Coach Stig on all season long. His 26th year just wrapped up, and his career wraps up. So John Stiegelmeier retiring as head coach for the Jackrabbit football program. He'll join us live tonight on Fox Sports Rapid City. And we'll go to Sioux Falls straight ahead. Craig Maddox in. East River meets West River to kick off the week. SDPB Sports. Craig Maddox on tonight from Sioux Falls. So a busy Monday show. Let's throw it out. 720-1067 is our number if you want on tonight. 720-1067. And remember the Barron's Wilson text line if you want to text in, 720-1067. Same number, it's the Barron's Wilson text line, and you can text the program. We'll get your take on there. By the way, a quick question of the day. Let's throw it out. People are voting on social media on this. So I told you, my teams are out. The Bills, that was the team. Josh Allen, I want to see these guys advance and go all the way. I'm a huge fan. They go down in a heap yesterday. And now I looked at it, I said, found myself rooting for the Cowboys last night. That was amazing. I thought the Cowboys would come through. For all you Cowboy fans, I kind of started getting with you guys for whatever reason. I don't know. It's just a weird thing that's happened. I said, I'm rolling with the Cowboys because I thought they would beat the Bucs last week, and I thought they would get the 49ers this week. They don't. So I'm out. So you tell me, which is the best story to root for now in the NFL playoffs? What's the best story? I want intrigue. I want storylines. And so everybody has their own little edge here in this Final Four for Sunday, AFC, NFC Championship Sunday. I'm going to throw out and see what the audience is rooting for. I know who Luke and Jonathan are rooting for. Believe me, they let me have it. Here we go. Are you going Bengals? Burrow and the underdog story still? I feel like the Bengals are still the underdog story. They haven't won in a long, Boomer Esiason days. Okay? They went last year and got clipped, and somehow, some way, they're back again. That surprised me. I didn't think the Bengals were the real deal as I watched them throughout the season. I thought the O-line again was going to be bad. So I feel like the Bengals are the underdog story. Are you going that road? What about Brock Purdy, the quarterback for the 49ers? He's bringing the 49ers to the championship. Purdy was the last guy selected in the NFL draft. Iowa State Nobody thought about him. Nobody thought he was going to be a factor. Are you going down the Brock Purdy road and the 49ers gritty defense? There's a storyline there. Number one defense. They get after you. You've got Brock Purdy running the show. Wouldn't it be something to see him go to the Super Bowl? The last guy picked in the NFL draft. How about the Chiefs? I know people are rooting for the Chiefs, but they're hard to root for me. You know why. But Patrick Mahomes is hard to not like, and Andy Reid is hard to not like. This is from a Broncos fan. I can't stand some of the Chiefs' antics, and they're pretty cocky now because they've won all the time. Like, they're really cocky, frankly. So it's hard for me to ever root for the Chiefs. But I even admit as a Broncos fan, Mahomes and Andy Reid, kind of two guys you don't really root against that much. You aren't going to find me rooting for them, I'll tell you that. And last but not least, what about the Eagles? You got Dallas Goedert right here from South Dakota, a South Dakota kid, the tight end for the Eagles. He's a great player, major factor. And you got Jalen Hurts. He lost his starting position at Alabama in college to Tua. And Hurts is a story that he's the real deal now. He didn't look so good early on in his career in the NFL, and now he's the real deal. Which story are you rooting for now? Okay? Which story are you rooting for now? 720-1067 on the Barron's Wilson text line. I need a team to root for. My Bills are gone. I was hanging my hat on the Bills. And I got to tell you, it's hard. I almost sent this out last night. I said, well, there goes the fun teams to root for. To each their own. Which story are you rooting for? I'm just interested in the Fox Sports Rapid City storyline. Let's update the poll and let everybody know what's going on. Hang on, I want to catch this updated vote. Who are you rooting for in the NFL now? Okay. We've got, it has to be Purdy winning a Super Bowl. It has to be Brock Purdy winning a Super Bowl. The last player selected in the NFL draft. That would be something. Okay. Which team has the best story to root for? Here's the vote total right now. 39% of people going for the Bengals here on Fox Sports Rapid City. 39% going for the Bengals as still the underdog. 31% going for Brock Purdy and the 49ers. 18% rolling with the Chiefs, Mahomes and Andy Reid. 13% rolling with the Eagles. Now, why would that be? Why would that be? I'm thinking it's just because people don't like Philly fans. Is that? I'm rooting for Dallas Goedert. I mean, he's a South Dakota kid. Britain, South Dakota, went to South Dakota State. One of those great stories. Now a great player in the NFL for the Eagles. So I'm rolling with Dallas Goedert, but it is hard to root for the Eagles. I go back to a few years ago when the Eagles played the Vikings, and the Vikings fans out there in Philly getting stuff thrown at them and the whole thing. I know those Philly fans, they're passionate. I like that. They're nuts. And can get down that road of obnoxious, you want to say. So I think it's hard for fans to root for the Eagles. I'm thinking that's why they're coming in last. Listener text, I'm rolling with Brock Purdy. I don't have a dog in the fight anymore, but I'm going with Brock Purdy, underdog story. That's the true underdog story. Let's see. Listener text, geez, maybe you're a jinx. What? I'm a jinx like on who? Like Josh Allen and the Bills? Hey, I got one of the bets right. I told you the Cowboys would beat the Buccaneers last week, and I actually won money on that, so I'll take it. But I sure would have enjoyed that toffee. Let's go to this. I want to ask you a question on this. So yesterday, and I had people saying that if Joe Burrow beats Josh Allen and the Bills, that Joe Burrow would now take the place of the number one quarterback in the NFL. I had some people say that here on the program last week, and I didn't get too much into that. I said I would take Josh Allen, and still today, yesterday was the lowest point total for the Bills all season. It was. Okay, so I'm not going to say Josh Allen was magnificent. He wasn't. But I am going to tell you, if the Bills didn't have Josh Allen the whole season, they would be nowhere to be found. You guys wouldn't even sniff the Buffalo Bills if they don't have Allen and the plays he makes all season long. The Buffalo Bills defense, the last 2 years, has let down the Bills in so many ways, including 14 seconds left in this AFC divisional last year against the Chiefs, which the Bills, Josh Allen drives down, scores. Bills are going to win, right? 14 seconds, and Leslie Frazier's defensive scheme, and the Bills give up the tying field goal. They lose in overtime. You know the history. Now this year, the Cincinnati Bengals go into Buffalo. They march down on their opening drive 7-0, march down on their second drive 14-0, and it's lights out. I mean, from there on out, you're down 14-0 just like that midway through the first quarter, and it's a struggle. It's a grinder. There's snow, the whole thing. The big playability for Allen and the deep ball and Diggs, not going to work as well when you have the weather factored in yesterday and a 14-0 deficit. There's no running game. There's not much protection from the O-line, and so people want to get into the debate of what? Well, Joe Burrow's now better than Josh Allen. I'm not going to tell you he's not. I'm going to tell you he's won now. You have to give credit to Joe Burrow getting to the Super Bowl. You know this. And he could do it again. So it's now not just, oh, well, it's Joe Cool and he's just under pressure. He's so good. No, he's really good. He's good. I'm not going to tell you it's Joe Burrow beating Josh Allen yesterday. The Bengals out-schemed him. The Bengals had a great game plan, and I think overall the team is just better than the Bills. I'm not so sure that Joe Burrow is better than Josh Allen today. There's a factor that comes into this, so many factors. It's not just, well, Joe's better, but we had a listener say, well, if Joe beats Allen, you've got to admit then that Joe takes over the number one spot. You know who's been in my number one spot? You guys should know who's been in my number one spot. It hasn't been Josh Allen. It is Patrick Mahomes until he tells us differently. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback, number one, QB1 in the NFL. And that's a Broncos fan admitting this. So Joe's not taking over the number one spot yet. It's Patrick Mahomes until he gets beat again by Joe if it happens Sunday. Then we can start having this debate, really how elevated is Joe Burrow. He's getting up there. He's not Mahomes yet. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate. How you doing today, buddy?
What's up, man?
I agree with you to a certain extent. So Mahomes is number one, and then it's a team thing. So I think Allen is a more complete quarterback, like with the pass and the run, but
Correct.
He's on a worse team. So Burrow is a better passer, and he's on a better team. But the thing that's making me kind of a little bit wishy-washy is Burrow has what we can only really call swagger, right? And he is a personality, and he really gets people fired up, and like people want to, like his team plays for him.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm not saying the Bills. I'm not saying the Bills don't play for Josh Allen.
They
but
do. They do.
There's a little something extra spice on Burrow.
I got you on that. He's cool. He's calm. He's a good leader. It appears that way, and he kind of runs that show over there. I think you're right. McJudgerson is. The Bengals are just way better all around than people think. All around.
They're a better team. The Bills, if the Bills can get a running game, you'll be dangerous. But if you're relying on Allen to do everything, you're toast.
Yes, good point. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
Have a good one.
I think that's right. The Bills have been getting away with what? I mean, Josh Allen's done everything. He's done everything. They have no running game to speak of. There is no running game. It's, hey, Josh, can you make a play? The scheme, not really important. Hey, Josh, it's playground football. Just make a play. And he's the best athletic quarterback in the league. He's the most athletic, physically gifted quarterback in the league. And they just relied on, well, just make a play. I'm not ready to say Joe Burrow is number one, QB1. I don't exactly think that Joe Burrow is better than Patrick Mahomes, but boy, that's an intriguing matchup again, because are the Bengals as a team better than the Chiefs? I know for one, they're not scared of them. They already beat them last year. They beat them this year in the regular season. That's part of the X factor that nobody really gets with the Chiefs. A lot of teams have been, oh man, we can't beat the Chiefs. We can't stop the Chiefs. The Bengals, there's like none of that. I mean, they thought they were going to go into Buffalo and win yesterday, and they rolled them 14-0 midway through the first. It was lights out. See ya. I knew it right there. I said, this is unbelievable. I was sitting on the couch. I go, this puppy's toast. Kiss my toffee goodbye in the Bengals-Bills bet. Appreciate it. Okay, listener text coming in. Nate, I'm surprised you flipped on the 49ers because you took them at the beginning of the season to be the NFC representative in the Super Bowl. No, I'm not necessarily flipping on them. I just wanted to see the Cowboys take them down. I thought the Cowboys had it all coming together. I was kind of rooting for Mike McCarthy to prove some doubters wrong. So, no, my teams that I picked, you're right, at the beginning of the year, maybe I'll get lucky. I have 49ers, Chiefs. We did our opening show from Tin Lizzy, BetMGM, Deadwood. Opening show, Thursday Night Football. I said, I'm going to go Chiefs, 49ers. Last year, I got the Rams. Man, that was lucky. I thought Matt Stafford and the guys would put it all together. They did. This year, I said 49ers, Chiefs. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Boy, the Eagles look scary. And I'm going to tell you, I know the Bengals are the hot pick. I know they're the hot pick. Don't sleep on Mahomes. Don't sleep on Andy Reid, okay? The Bills got outworked. They got outcoached there. The scheme, the defensive coordinator, Leslie Frazier's a nice guy. He got smoked the last 2 years in the playoffs. I mean, absolutely smoked, okay? There's just no other way you can put it. Got smoked by the Chiefs last year. Got smoked by the Bengals this year. Defensively, they're going to have to figure some things out. McDermott's a head coach that's a defensive guy, and that's a mess over there. So I'm going to tell you, don't sleep on Andy Reid and the Chiefs. Listener text coming in. Who should you root for, Nate? You're a Bronco fan, correct? How about Mike Shanahan's son coaching and other ex-coaches from the Broncos on the staff, McCaffrey's kid, Mr. Irrelevant at QB? You've got to root for the 49ers. Well, you know what part of that is as a Broncos fan? Think about where we're at. We could have had Kyle Shanahan. He was available to be our coach. We took Vance Joseph. We could have had some of these guys. John Lynch, who's the general manager, former Broncos safety. We could have had John Lynch. We passed on him. We didn't take John Lynch. 49ers said, we'll give John Lynch a run. Look at these Bronco ties over the 49ers, and the Broncos are still in no man's land. Last one on this. Joe Burrow is intriguing to watch. He's not my QB1 yet, and I'm not so sure that they're going to get it done against the Chiefs again. I'm not so sure about that. That one's really, really up in the air for me. A lot of people are saying the Bengals are going to get that done. Do not sleep on the Chiefs. The Mahomes injury might be a factor. We'll see. Listener text. The Bills lost because they couldn't run the ball. The Bengals planned to stop Josh, and that's what they did. Tough one yesterday. Josh Allen goes down. Josh Allen's not a guy that's you could say, oh, well, he's just not going to get you there. Josh Allen's going to get you there. Some people are saying, he's been to the AFC Divisional. He's AFC Championship. They're just coming up short. Josh Allen's the only one that is getting them there. The defense has been miserable in all of those games. The Bills' running game, it's nothing. There's nothing there. So the pieces are missing for the Bills. Josh Allen isn't that problem piece, okay? Joe Burrow and the Bengals putting it all together. Can they take down the Chiefs? And boy, Eagles 49ers. Look out. I think Brock Purdy's road might be ending. Cowboys couldn't get it done on the road. Eagles in Philly, I think Brock's going to have a tough day. Coming right back with Craig Maddock, SDPB Sports in Sioux Falls. I have a question here. LeBron James is out there helping his son Bronny. He's a four-star basketball player, kind of navigate this college recruitment piece. And LeBron said something over the weekend about Bronny and what college he could go to. And so I wanted to know, as a parent, if you're going through the recruiting process, how should LeBron James be acting here in this process? We'll talk to Craig Maddock about that and more next.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City.
Are new windows from Renewal by Andersen a great investment? You're darn right they are. Did you know that for less than your cable bill or cell phone bill each month, you could have new windows from Renewal by Andersen right now? Do the math. Renewal by Andersen windows will likely cut your energy bills significantly. They will likely substantially increase the value of your home. They're a great investment. Please contact our team now and ask about our fantastic financing options with approved credit right now. Renewal by Andersen, a great investment? You're darn right.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Chance for snow tonight, otherwise partly cloudy skies. Lows level off around 23, winds out of the southwest 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy skies expected tomorrow, highs level off around 41. Overcast skies tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 25. About an inch of snow Wednesday through Wednesday night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 34.
Remember, the NFL playoffs are on at Tin Lizzy BetMGM Sportsbook, Main Street, Deadwood. If you want to experience the NFL playoffs in style with the best food, really great service, brand new 4K TVs, you got to get to Tin Lizzy BetMGM Sportsbook. Every game is on at Tin Lizzy. Don't miss the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl at the King of Sportsbooks, BetMGM Sportsbook at Tin Lizzy. Make your play at Tin Lizzy. What game are you betting on?
Hi, this is Cody Young at High Plains Physical Therapy and Aquatic Therapy Center. I started High Plains PT in 1999, and we've been providing personalized care in Rapid City to help our patients get back in action. Remember, you have a choice for who you go to see for physical therapy. With our state-of-the-art Aquatic Therapy Center, we are equipped to help you achieve your health goals. At High Plains, we'll give you the one-on-one treatment you deserve. We look forward to working with you at our new facility. To get started, visit highplainspt.com.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Gift cards are great things to give as gifts. But when someone tells you you need to use a gift card to pay for something you owe, like utilities, taxes, and other fees, red flags should go off, and it should cause you to stop and think. Most legitimate companies will never tell you to pay with a gift card. Before you go to purchase these gift cards, please call Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986 and let them check things out for you so you're not out of your hard-earned money.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker in Rapid City. If you considered selling your current home, let me take you to that next step with confidence. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I have been in the business of attracting buyers for 15 years. Let's make it happen. Contact me, David Brenneman, at 415-0044. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, at 415-0044.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio. Sales, service, and recreation. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey, welcome back. The Nate Brown Show rolling on a Monday. We're off and running. Mike Golick Jr. is going to join us live. NFL analyst Mike Golick Jr. coming up. Great to have him tonight. We're going to talk to John Stiegelmeier as well. South Dakota State retiring last week as we came on the air. Coach Stig, 26 years as head coach, 199 wins. He said he's going to go to win number 200 with the new coach, Jimmy Rogers. And he said, I guess I'll take some of that. I'll enjoy win number 200. John Stiegelmeier live coming up about why you're retired, what's next. Coach Stig on the way. Ryan O'Halloran coming up from Buffalo. Covered the game yesterday. The Bills go down hard. Buffalo News columnist Ryan O'Halloran coming up. Craig Maddock kicking off the Monday. SDPB Sports, Sioux Falls. Craig, good to have you back on. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's one of those where I feel much better today than I did last Monday after the Vikings' performance at U.S. Bank Stadium against the, at then, looking very tough New York Giants.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, they didn't quite look as tough Saturday night. I hate to break it to you, but I wanted to ask you about this. You had Stephon Diggs in Minnesota. Okay.
Yeah.
I was rooting for Josh Allen and the Bills. I love Josh. We got to know him at Wyoming. We've had him on the show. So I'm a big Josh Allen fan. So I was hanging my hat on the Bills. They go down. He didn't play his best. He's had some unbelievable seasons. They had their lowest point total yesterday. And in one game where they have the lowest point total in a snowstorm, they got down 14-0. Here's Stephon Diggs at the end of the game on the sideline, yelling and complaining and throwing his hands up in the air at Josh Allen, the guy who's been feeding him the ball the last 3 years. And I'm going, where does this come from? Is that just Diggs? He did the same thing to Cousins, and now Josh Allen was great, but boy, one bad game, and now we're back here?
Yeah, that's Stephon Diggs. When things are great, he's a wonderful teammate. When things are not, you saw exactly the temper tantrum that he puts in the NFL. Now, I know there have been a couple of stories this year that he has really taken care of and had a big attachment to a young man, a young boy who lost his father not too long ago. And he came out of his way to meet him during or before a game or two. And you know what? And that surprised me a little bit, what Stephon Diggs did, but it shows when things are good, Stephon's a great human being. But like anybody who's competitive, let's face it, when you lose and you feel frustrated, sometimes that's how you act, and that's what Stephon does. I mean, he did it at Minnesota. Vikings fans were fed up with it, had no problem with him being traded. Of course, the Vikings, with that trade, they used it to pick Justin Jefferson in the draft.
Yeah, that worked out okay that time. But I look at it and I say, some guys do this, and then some guys are tagged with, well, that's a diva wide receiver. I don't love seeing that. Josh Allen didn't react to it, and I give him credit on that because they could have gotten a dust-up right there. I just don't think you can have it. I don't think you can have guys like that when things go poor, that they're complaining and screaming at everybody.
Yeah, and I'm sure Bills fans don't like it either. When the receiver is reacting to that, and we saw it plenty of times in Minnesota, and what he did yesterday did not surprise me whatsoever.
Yeah, Craig Maddock on talking Stephon Diggs. Now let's go to this. We talk high school a lot and recruiting and the whole thing. So I want your reaction to LeBron James. His son, Bronny, is going through this process of being recruited. And LeBron gave an interview to the Oregonian newspaper because the Oregon Ducks are looking at him. Of course, Nike heavily involved with Oregon. And so here's the statement from LeBron James in the Oregonian over the weekend. I think Bronny can go to any college he wants to. All I have to do is pick up the phone. And if Bronny says he wants to go there, he's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that statement? LeBron being involved like that.
Well, that sounds like a junior high athlete with a father trying to talk to a coach.
Should he be involved that way? That's my question.
I think that's overstepping it a little bit.
Do you? He's a parent.
I think so.
He's a parent.
He is a parent, and excuse me. As always, I'm a big supporter of what the athlete wants to do. It wouldn't surprise me that with LeBron, I think he will support whatever his son wants to do. Certainly, I don't know what his level of play is, I haven't watched him. I don't know what is he a 5-star?
They got him like
7-star?
4-star. They get him like 4-star.
And so I would think there's a lot of schools going to go after him because they think he might be like his father. It's important for fathers and mothers to be involved with recruiting. It really is.
Yes.
It's very important. But I sure hope that LeBron says, no, you're not going to Oregon. You're going to go to LSU or whatever he wants to pick. I sure hope that his son is the one that makes the choice.
Okay, the only problem I have with it, I don't have much of a problem. He says, all I have to do is pick up the phone. That sounds like, well, hey, Bronny's going to go here, right? Talking to the coach or talking to whoever. That's my only issue with that. I think LeBron should be involved. All I have to do is pick up the phone. I don't know about that.
Or the school could hire LeBron as an assistant coach and then bring him along.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's been done before, Danny Manning.
Yeah. By the way, that's not the only case. We've heard that happen before. Craig Maddock on SDPB Sports, Sioux Falls. So I want to go to high school hoops, and I want to get your read here. It's looking like some great teams out East River, and I look at it, I say, Sioux Falls Jefferson. Some people think this team, they win the state football championship. They think this team might be the team that goes all the way.
They could. They've got it going right now, but they've got to play Lincoln again. I like Sioux Falls Lincoln right now just because of the height and the outside shooting that Lincoln has. Mitchell's having a good season. Aberdeen just knocked off Brandon Valley. Harrisburg has been in there. It is really open. I think right now you got Jefferson and Lincoln. Right now, I like those two. Mitchell right behind him. Aberdeen Central's playing well. In another month of ball, I think things are going to look really fun for the AA tournament in Rapid.
Sioux Falls Jefferson boys looking really, really good. The girls are pretty good on that side as well. By the way, the Stevens girls out here looking pretty good, winning a lot of games, up to 9-2. The Stevens girls back-to-back appearances in the state AA championship, and now reloading again for this season. Let me go back to the NFL, Craig. I want to get your read on this. Your Minnesota Vikings should do what with Adam Thielen?
Probably cut him.
Minnesota guy. That's our guy.
Hey, I may be a Minnesota guy, but I also do a lot of things with my head instead of my heart. Adam Thielen, the money that the Vikings have tied up with him is pretty big in dead money. Wouldn't surprise me. The Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen will be gone. Most of the defensive players will be gone. I think it's going to be they're way over the cap when it comes to salary. But I do think unless they restructure Adam Thielen and he's willing to take less, a lot less, because I still think he's a major player. I think we can all agree to that. And when you got Justin Jefferson there, I think the Vikings have a tough decision because I think Vikings fans know this, that, the cap's too high, that he probably won't be a Viking next year.
Okay, which team left in the NFL playoffs, Craig, is the best story to root for now? Which team?
I like San Francisco.
Really?
That's a great story with Brock Purdy, the Iowa State guy, Mr. Irrelevant. You and I know how to feel that way every day.
Yes.
I like Brock Purdy, and he hasn't made the mistakes in these big pressure games. He's done the job, and since the Vikings aren't in, and I saw the Niners with preseason this year. But here's the deal: it's a great story, and I wish them the best. I am not an Eagles fan, that's for sure.
Okay, I was going to say Eagles are coming in last on our poll, Craig. They're coming in last. I said, which team are you guys rooting for now? Bengals lead, 49ers second, Eagles all the way in last. Is that because the Minnesota sports fans don't like Philly?
We do not like them very well. We do not exchange Christmas cards at all. In fact, I'm sure they just started greasing their light poles in downtown Philly today to get ready for the game on Sunday.
But be careful now. We got Dallas Goddard there. I mean, how can we not root for Dallas? Come on.
It's what just because you're from South Dakota doesn't mean you have to root for a team that he's with a team that you don't like.
Okay,
you know
I got you.
I wish him the best, but he can go ahead and catch a couple of TDs as long as they don't win.
Okay, there you are. Craig Maddock, East River. East River meets West River, and I want to ask you about John Stiegelmeier. You interviewed him a lot. We have him coming up tonight, maybe for, I don't know, his final interview in a long time, unless he wants to be the Nate Brown Show football analyst this next season. And I'm going to talk to him about his career. John Stiegelmeier, the biggest thing we should take away from his tenure and his career at SDSU?
A great football mind and a man with great faith. No doubt about it. Probably should put faith first. He is a man of great faith and uses that as a football coach. And that's why I have really enjoyed my talks with Stig over the years. He's just a great man, and he's picked some great guys to be on his staff to get out there and get the talent you need for the Jacks to be a championship caliber football team. But his faith by far, I respect him with that by far, number one, and then football coach number two.
Okay, so John Stiegelmeier is kind of one of those guys. He's not rah-rah, in-your-face, old school, tough nose, cussing you out at all.
No,
he's old school coach, but much different approach, and he won that way.
Well, in hiring his coordinators and the guys on that coaching staff, they've worked so well together over the years. Success of recruiting, it's tough. You try recruiting to Brookings for football when you got a lot of other schools with big time programs.
Yeah.
And they've been able to get the job done. And he's worked with getting the facilities there. And he's gotten some pretty good in-state talent, too, once in a while. But overall, just a great guy. USD fans, even though they don't like him, they respect him a lot. He's just a great man.
Yeah, I've enjoyed my conversations over the years. We'll have one more tonight with John Stiegelmeier retiring as SDSU head football coach coming up later. Craig Maddock getting us started on a Monday, SDPB Sports. Find his podcast In Play as a new one coming out tomorrow, later this week?
Next week, and it will feature one of the top high school basketball players in state history. You'll enjoy that interview.
Okay, and it wasn't me. Okay, that's okay.
I said girls.
Oh, girls. Okay.
Girls.
Okay,
Girls
I missed that. At Craig Maddock on Twitter. Follow him there and find him In Play, the podcast. It's out there, SDPB Sports. Craig, thanks for the time.
You bet. Thanks.
All right, Craig Maddock on, getting us started on a Monday. SDPB Sports from Sioux Falls. So, really quick, I'm just going to ask you what you guys think of that statement there. LeBron James, his son Bronny's getting recruited, and LeBron James said, quote, "I think Bronny can go to any college he wants to. All I have to do is pick up the phone. If Bronny says he wants to go there, he's good enough." And there's people that have some issues with how LeBron's saying this and how involved he's being there as the dad for his son getting a program to play in. And I have to tell you, I don't really have a big issue. I don't have a big issue. We were discussing it here today, and there's some, varying opinions out there saying, oh, no, that sounds like, LeBron's taking total control of it. And if LeBron tells you that Bronny's coming, he's coming. End of story, right? We agree, right? I guess I can see where you maybe think that, but here's the thing. LeBron James can be involved pretty heavily in the recruitment of his son because many, many parents are. I mean, you guys know this. Many parents are. Now, this is LeBron James. He has a lot of influence, right? 4-time NBA champ. I mean, I understand the whole thing there. I think maybe that phrase was all I have to do is pick up the phone. People didn't like that. But I hate to break it to you, there's a lot of parents picking up the phone and making contacts and having conversations and getting film out and doing all sorts of stuff for their sons and daughters. I don't think LeBron's that much different, but his image, his brand, his influence is different. I understand. I do understand that. So I don't know if Bronny's going to be a superstar. He looks like he's a pretty good player. Some people are rating him as a 4-star basketball player, okay? So can he go anywhere? Well, maybe. Can LeBron James be involved in the recruitment of his son? I absolutely think so. I don't think we should treat LeBron any different than Tom, Dick, and Harry, because they're out there doing the same thing. Hey, my son's this, my son's that. Believe me, it's, we all know the story of LeVar Ball. I mean, that guy was out of control. I don't think LeBron's doing that type of stuff. I just think LeBron's probably going to be in the middle of that as a parent, as most parents are. Listener text coming in. Let's see here. I got to say, as much as I don't like LeBron, he's not even in the same universe as the Ball boys and their dad. At least LeBron knows the business. Listener text, LeBron has to send his son to a Nike school. That's rule number 1. Then the college team that Bronny goes to has to be built to win the whole thing. Well, I just asked the audience here on Twitter, is it okay for LeBron James to be heavily involved in his son's college recruitment? And the poll question votes are 80% yes, he's just a parent, 20% no, he has way too much influence. And as a parent, I'm going to give LeBron a pass on that. I know LeBron can tick people off in many ways. As a parent, I'm going to give him a pass on, yeah, he can be involved in the recruitment of his son, and I know it's going to look different, but he's going to be there just like any other parent is. Mike Golick Jr. is in next on the Nate Brown Show. NFL analyst, what does he say about AFC, NFC Championship Sunday? Mike Golick Jr. on the way.
From high school to college to the pros, this is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
Looking for a great used truck or SUV? Danny Menholt Toyota has them. Shop a great selection of half-ton trucks and SUVs, imports and domestics, brands like Ford, GMC, Subaru, Nissan, Jeep, and more. Plus, the area's best selection of used Toyotas, Toyota certified pre-owned. Buy with no money down, get financing on the spot with qualified credit. If we don't have exactly what you're looking for, we'll find it for you in our network of dealerships. See us at Denny Menholt Toyota or DennyMenholtToyota.com.
In 2023, First Gold Gaming Resort continues to be Deadwood's most rewarding gaming destination. Every Friday through Sunday, win your share of $8,600 in promo play through hot seat drawings. Don't miss the Lucky $7,000 giveaway on Saturday nights, where we draw for $1,000 cash winners every hour from 5 till 11 p.m. And on Saturday, January 28th, it's the go-to ball giveaways. The $18,000 Golden Cash Blast. First Gold Gaming Resort. It's where Deadwood begins and the winning never ends.
Hey Cobbler and Raider fans, you can now show your school spirit and earn money for your booster club. It's easy to get your Raider or Cobbler custom designed debit card today from Highmark Credit Union. Simply open a Highmark free basic checking account and get your Raider or Cobbler debit card. Plus, each swipe will earn money for your booster club. Show your school spirit and support the Raiders and Cobblers with a custom designed debit card. Visit HighmarkFCU.com.
When it comes to protecting your home and your belongings, what works for your neighbor most likely won't work for you. Insurance is personal, and that's why the coverage specialists at Fisher Rounds & Associates work with you to tailor a policy that protects your family, home, auto, and other valuable possessions at the most reasonable cost possible. We sweat the small and the big stuff, so you don't have to. That's at your service, at your side. Fisher Rounds & Associates, with offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Watertown.
Hi, it's Colin Coward. Great to be in the Black Hills. Getting heard weekdays 10 to 1 on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Rapid City, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Stream us all the time right there on your phone, foxsportsrapidcity.com. If you ever get out of range, you've got us, foxsportsrapidcity.com. John Stiegelmeier's coming up. South Dakota State, longtime head coach, just retired last Thursday. And now we'll have him on one more time at least. Then we got to give him a break, right? That's why he's retiring. He's like, I'm done with the Nate Brown Show now. He's got to come on one more time. South Dakota State head coach John Stiegelmeier, the FCS Coach of the Year this year, the national champion Jackrabbits, and he retires after 26 years at the helm. Coach Stig on the way. Mike Golick Jr. is on tonight, talking NFL playoffs. Gojo Show podcast. You can find that and watch it. Also, Mike Golick Jr. on Twitter at Mike Golick Jr. Mike, good to have you back on. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's going to be tough to try and be the lead-in for Coach Stig coming on here with the walk-off there, John Elway style, even a champion. Good for him.
That's perfect, right? He knows what he's doing. The only bad part, he has 199 wins, and he couldn't come back for just one more. But that'll work. It'll work out. Let me ask you about this whole scene yesterday. I want to get your read on Joe Burrow. I have listeners told me, I'm a big Josh Allen fan. My brother played at Wyoming, so we got to know Josh, and we've had him on the show. I'm a big fan of his leadership, intangibles, and his abilities off the charts. He comes up short. Joe Burrow wins again, going back to an AFC championship. And some listeners are telling me if Joe beat Josh, Joe is now QB1. And I said, I don't know. I'm not going to put him at QB1. It's still Mahomes to me. It's Mahomes in his career so far. Where does Burrow land for you?
Burrow's probably, I think, pretty comfortably nestling into number 2. I'm with you. Patrick Mahomes has all of the, I'd say, same confidence and moxie that we love Joe Burrow for, the way he's elevated that team. Now, obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs were still a playoff caliber team without Patrick Mahomes, but you know what he's gotten them to since. But I just think you combine that also with even greater physical ability, right? The arm talent from Patrick Mahomes and some of the things that he can do. Joe Burrow just does not have that same physical ability with things strapped to his shoulder. And so I'd say he's comfortably in that number 2 range, though.
Okay, so you're going there with Burrow over the last 2 years. Where's Josh Allen sit? I don't think the Bills would be anywhere near where they've been the last 3 years without his ability. It's kind of, hey, Josh, just do what you do. We don't have a good running game. We don't have a great O-line, so just make plays. Where are the Bills at without Josh Allen, and where do they go from here?
Yeah, they're nowhere good. Josh Allen looked like a man on an island out there, and it was a bit of a regression because I think earlier in the season we felt like, all right, the Bills were in the process of making that same transformation that the Kansas City Chiefs did when everyone said, we're going to back off and try and take away the deep plays. I mean, the rest of the NFL is only going to sit around for so long, D coordinators, and let Stephon Diggs beat them over the top the way that we saw time and time again. And so teams got creative, and in that process, we saw other flaws exposed. You know, as much as Tony Romo loves big game Gabe Davis, he hasn't necessarily been consistent enough as the number 2 receiver for them. The running game has never materialized with James Cook or Devin Singletary behind an offensive line that certainly looks a bit flawed. And just overall, it seems like the game plan for Buffalo turned more and more into, hey, we're going to drop back and we're going to let Josh make it happen some way or somehow. And when you get up against the best teams in the AFC, their peers in the Chiefs and in the Bengals, it's just not going to be good enough in playoff football. So they've got to start to retool some things, and I think really commit this offseason to, like so many of the other great quarterbacks in the league, getting Josh Allen more help and saying it doesn't have to be Superman every single play.
Mike Golick Jr. on tonight. You've been around the game at high levels. Stephon Diggs yelling, throwing his hands up in the air at the end of the game yesterday. What should we think there?
Yeah, and I saw he followed it up with some tweets basically saying, do you guys want me to be okay with losing? Do you guys want me to be, okay when the standard's not up to what we set around here? And, I mean, listen, in an ideal world, I'd want you not to show up your quarterback on the sideline, but I also understand these things happen. My favorite part about team sports, and specifically about football, is you can have really brutally honest conversations and sometimes that turns into argument in the name of airing out your frustration and getting on to the next play, getting on to the next solution, and finding whatever that's going to be for your team, and be okay on the other side. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are incredibly close. By all accounts, what we've seen over a long body of work, that's a great relationship to two guys that care an awful lot about each other and that team. And so I'm going to chalk that up to frustration. We know for that Bills team, there was a lot on and off the field that was on their plate over really the last half of the season, even before we get to what went on with DeMar Hamlin recently and the emotional roller coaster for that team. So I'm not going to read into it too much. It was a moment of frustration from a guy that's really a high-level competitor, and I don't think it's going to have any bearings on that team or that partnership going forward.
Mike Golic Jr. on the Nate Brown Show tonight, talking NFL playoffs. Gojo Show is his show. Find him on Twitter at Mike Golic Jr. Go to the NFC. Dak Prescott's taking a lot of heat. Is that legit?
I mean, listen, he deserves criticism for this game. It was a bad game, and he can have played a bad game and not be a bad player. And I think so often we conflate the two things in our immediate knee-jerk analysis of things, especially when it's, divisional round weekend, and we're all watching the same handful of games, and there's a hyper-awareness of everything that happens. Dak threw 2 back-breaking interceptions in that game. You can debate if the first one was his fault, but overall he put the ball in harm's way far too much this season. There's a lot of good that comes with that player, but we also saw the bad. What we've established with Dak now is he's not in that top tier of quarterbacks with the guys we talked about, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. He's not going to change the game for you in that way. But we've seen far worse quarterbacks than him win Super Bowls. And so now Dallas has some other things with that roster it's got to contend with. All the while, Dak's contract starts to get into the area where he's going to be a little bit more expensive. And so they may have to play some of those guaranteed money games with him to try and free up money to make sure that they're supplementing the roster in the ways that they need to stay competitive while their defense seems to be in the prime of its time with a guy in Micah Parsons who looks like he's going to be a perennial Defensive Player of the Year conversation kind of player, and work with that as the strength of your football team, knowing you've got a very good quarterback, even though he's not a great quarterback.
Okay, give me your breakdown of NFC, AFC Championship Sunday. Do you think the Bengals go in there and beat the Chiefs?
I think right now I would lean that way, yeah. I think that the Kansas City Chiefs are more inclined to hurt them on the pass rush than the Bills were. We saw outside of Von Miller that Bills' young pass rush just was not up to developing into what that team needed it to be. You've got Chris Jones, Frank Clark, and some guys that certainly are capable of some high-level stuff with the Chiefs, but overall I just think this Bengals team has had their number without an injured Patrick Mahomes. And for Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals, another masterful game plan in their divisional round matchup against the Bills. He'll have something special for a Mahomes that's not going to be able to move out around the pocket. And then on the NFC side, man, I am very interested to see if this is finally the spot where, in the side of football where it's been about the roster you've built up. So many of the NFC teams, going back to the Giants and others, have managed to build up these juggernauts around their quarterbacks to offset some of their weaknesses. You wonder if this is the week against that Eagles pass rush where we see a little bit more of that Brock Purdy we saw in the first half against the Cowboys. A little more rattled by the pass rush, a little more human than he had looked during his first 9 or so starts as a rookie. And then you see that Jalen Hurts difference on the other side. Because for that 49ers defense, you went up against the Cowboys offensive line that was pretty good, and the Cowboys did a pretty good job of keeping them away from Dak.
Yeah.
You're going up against the best offensive line that you're going to see this year, that Philadelphia Eagles group that just ran all over the Giants in that last game. So I wouldn't be shocked if we're talking about a Bengals-Eagles Super Bowl when it's all said and done.
Mike Golic Jr. pop it on tonight. Gojo Show is his show. Find it. Great podcast. Find him on Twitter. Follow him, Mike Golic Jr. on tonight. Mike, thanks for the time. Always appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Mike Golic Jr. on tonight talking NFC, AFC Championship Sunday. He goes Eagles, Bengals. Eagles, Bengals. Quick prediction on a Monday. I'll be making my prediction here later in the week. We'll see how wrong I'll be this time. Hey, I got 2 games out of the 4 right. Eagles, yes. Chiefs, yes. Bills, no. Cowboys, no. How did I find myself getting on that Cowboys bandwagon? How did I do that? I don't know. Must have been a bad dream. So I woke up one day. I had a Cowboys fan who listened to the show. He called me off the air. He goes, Nate, what are you doing? Yeah, that's what he said. He goes, Nate, what are you doing? You're on the Cowboys bandwagon now? And I get on that thing just as it gets derailed. Imagine that. All right, we're going to get into it with Ryan O'Halloran on the Buffalo Bills side. Where do the Bills go? They've been to the AFC Championship and the AFC Divisional the last 2 years. They've been at high levels with Josh Allen. Where do the Bills go now? Ryan O'Halloran from the Buffalo News on who should take the fall for the Bills falling short again. Next.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show. Follow us and watch the show live on Twitter at Nate Brown Show.
Are new windows from Renewal by Andersen a great investment? You're darn right they are. Did you know that for less than your cable bill or cell phone bill each month, you could have new windows from Renewal by Andersen right now? Do the math. Renewal by Andersen windows will likely cut your energy bills significantly. They will likely substantially increase the value of your home. They're a great investment. Please contact our team now and ask about our fantastic financing options with approved credit right now. Renewal by Andersen, a great investment? You're darn right.
Hills Health and Wellness Center, we have 4 chiropractors in the clinic, and our big focus is working on the musculoskeletal health of patients. Being in business in 39 years and having done business with every single bank in the area, in the community, in the last 2 years, we have definitely realized how much we have been missing out with the extra go-the-distance service that Pioneer Bank and Trust is willing to provide you. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
With 2 locations in Rapid City, Pizza Ranch is ready to serve your family. Every Wednesday is Kids Day. This is the best deal out there with the best buffet in town. One child 12 and under eats free for every regular priced adult at the Pizza Ranch Buffet Wednesdays. And don't forget their senior special every Tuesday for $8.99. The Pizza Ranch Buffet. It's all good at the Pizza Ranch with 2 locations in Rapid City. And remember, daily online specials for carryout or delivery at PizzaRanch.com.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Remember to catch me weekday mornings from 7 until 10 a.m. right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 a.m. Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, back to Rapid City's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Hey, glad to be back on a Monday, a Reaction Monday on the Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Rapid City. If you missed parts of this show live, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. It's out there. It'll be uploaded tonight. The Nate Brown Show podcast available where you download your favorite podcasts on Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon. Got John Stiegelmeier coming up. South Dakota State longtime head coach. He just retired on Thursday. 26-year run. Coach Stig retiring a national champion, first FCS national title for South Dakota State. And John Stiegelmeier will join us one more time on the Nate Brown Show. His career and what's next. Maybe some golf and grandkids is what I'm hearing. We'll talk to Coach Stig and what went into that decision coming up. Ryan O'Halloran's on. Buffalo News. Covering the Bills, Bengals. Bills go down in a heap. My boy Josh Allen didn't have the best game. Bills defense, not the best game. I mean, all around, a struggle. And the Bengals win it. They're back into the AFC Championship. Ryan O'Halloran covered it. Find him on Twitter at Ryan O'Halloran. Ryan, good to have you back. How are you?
I'm good, Nate. And good to join you again. One of these times, you're going to ask me about the new Broncos coach, which could be around the 4th of July at this rate.
No, we'll get one here pretty quick. Hang on, okay? I'm going to ask you about that, but not now. Now's not the time. We'll wait. Let's go to the Bills, and I'm watching this. It's 7-0 just like that, then a 3-and-out, and then it's 14-0 midway through the first. I said it yesterday. I'm watching. I go, I think this is over. I think that's it.
Yeah.
What did you think right away as it started out like that?
Yeah, 14-0. I believe I tweeted, "Uh-oh," and we turned it. Both of us ended up being right. The Bengals marched down the field like they did in the first meeting, so 7-0. And I was talking to a player about this in the locker room today. Is these coaches script that opening drive all week, 4 or 5 days. This is what you're going to do. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Bengals first play, Jamar Chase, all-world receiver. Bills first play, bubble screen to Isaiah McKenzie. Are you kidding me? I mean, that to me, that sort of is sums up the day. One team was ready to go, play winning playoff football. The other team was asleep at the wheel. And for the Bills, it was a total system failure.
Okay, so you say total system failure. There's people saying, okay, who should take the fall here? Bills had the lowest point total all season long. But I look at it this way. I look at the last 3 years. Defensively in these big games, and I know you just started covering the Bills this season, but the last 3 years, AFC Championship, AFC Divisional, and now another Divisional. The defense has really given up a lot of yardage and a lot of points. What happens for a defense that's been good in the regular season? What's happened?
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals had 30 first downs yesterday. You know how tough that is in pro football, where the clock doesn't stop on first down. I mean, that means you had no resistance. Let's speak about this Bills defense. When Von Miller tore his ACL on Thanksgiving, he took the 4-man pass rush with him to IR. They could not create any pressure with a 4-man rush. They had to start blitzing linebackers. That opened up the middle of the field. They weren't a great tackling defense. They weren't a great coverage defense. Then you start losing safeties left and right. So the combination is your depth gets depleted, which forces the scheme change. And Sean McDermott poked his defensive line today, so they were inconsistent. Well, that's basically meaning they think they suck. And changes could be afoot there. They didn't have any answers. Leslie Frazier didn't have a great game calling it, and neither did Ken Dorsey on the offense. But your question was about the defense. They got some issues. They got free agents they got to figure out. They don't have a lot of money to spend. They've got to get better against the best teams.
Okay, so the Bills have been really, really good, but they haven't gotten over the top. And it's been the defense a lot. Josh didn't play a good game yesterday. Did the Bills' offensive scheme just go by, well, we want Josh to make good playground plays, and that's kind of what we need because we don't have a running game. We don't have much going on.
Yeah, and what over the last month or so of the season, it felt like they had already run their best stuff. The teams had figured them out, and they had no counter answer to opposing defenses. The line sprung a couple of leaks. They never found a slot receiver. They never found a number 2 receiver. Diggs had one 100-yard game over the last 8 games. The running game, Josh Allen was their best running back from the start of the season on. They got to be hell-bent on making sure that doesn't happen again. So I think Allen, you obviously get beat up when you get hit as much as he does as a runner. You did not see him doing that a lot over the last couple of weeks. So to me, they started off so fast this year. They didn't really lose any players to injury. That was only on defense. But it's almost like opponents figured out Ken Dorsey, and that's what one coach told me from another team late in the year, is that Brian Daboll ran a much more sophisticated and he had a lot more volume to his offensive game plan. Teams sort of knew what was coming with Ken Dorsey. The difference is they got away with it most of the season because Josh Allen was that good.
Ryan O'Halloran on tonight, BuffaloNews.com, talking Bills, Bengals. Ryan O'Halloran on Twitter. So they're not going to discuss any changes on the defensive coordinator or the offensive coordinator side, right? I mean, that's going too far.
Well, I would say no, it wouldn't. I don't think it would be so much as a desperate decision. If there's things behind the scenes that McDermott doesn't like, he didn't endorse either one today when given the chance at the point blank to say, will both men be back? I would assume they are, but you never know. Maybe you have some changes along your position coaches to try and get things going in the right direction in that regard. So this team took a step back. And people who say, well, they lost in the divisional round last year. Well, That was at Kansas City in one of the most epic games in playoff history.
Yeah.
They should have won. They were never in this game. That's why you took a step back. They've been passed by Cincinnati in the hierarchy of the AFC.
Okay, so I'll ask you about this whole thing with Joe Burrow. How good do you think Joe is? I've got listeners saying, hey, now that he's beaten Josh and the Bills, Joe's QB1. I still have Mahomes there for as good as he's been. So I got Mahomes, and I still think it's a debate with Burrow and Allen for all the things Allen does. I just think the Bengals are better overall. Where do you stand on Burrow?
Well, I think both things can be right. I have Mahomes as 1, Burrow 2, Allen 3. Because Burrow had 3 fill-in offensive linemen yesterday. He executed that game plan to a T. Joe Burrow is a young Tom Brady, and I'm not afraid to say that. I think Patrick Mahomes is the first Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen, too many turnovers. He said that today. He led the league in turnovers, interceptions plus fumbles. So he's got to tighten that up. And it just felt like when the play broke down for Joe yesterday, he was still able to make a play. So, I think, as I said earlier, Chiefs, Bengals are the top tier of AFC teams. Burrow, Mahomes, Burrow, and the top tier of AFC quarterbacks.
Okay, so the dust up with Stephon Diggs yelling, hands in the air. I know people say, oh, man, that's a really bad look. I don't love it. I really don't, Ryan, but what do you think the players think?
Well, the fact that Josh Allen didn't really have a reaction on the sidelines means he does it a lot, which he does a lot. He just whines. Okay, if that's the part of doing business with a diva receiver, that's fine. But the fact that he basically wanted to leave the stadium before the coaches even met with the players, that's a problem. He left quickly after that. He hasn't talked to the media in 3 weeks to explain himself. If everybody thinks he's a leader on this team, you have to represent yourself on behalf of the team. And people are saying, well, media will mean, no, you're talking about your teammates here. You got to be a leader and stand up. He had to be disappointed he didn't get more touches. Maybe he wasn't getting open. And maybe he didn't think Ken Dorsey was designing stuff to get him open. But he is not a quick pass guy where he gets a lot of yak. He makes his stuff happen down the field. Those chances weren't there. Everybody was supportive of him today, said he's a competitor, he's fiery. Well, they have to say that because they have no real recourse. He's untradeable, even if you did want to move him.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Bills go down to the Bengals, and now it's Bengals-Chiefs. Who's the Ryan O'Halloran pick here? What do you see in the AFC Championship?
Yeah, I see a repeat of last year. I see Cincinnati winning.
Really?
I think their pass rush is going to take advantage of a less than 100% Patrick Mahomes. As Patrick said after the game, I couldn't move. Well, basically what he was saying is Jacksonville had their head up there, and didn't send enough blitzers. Force them to move. I think the Bengals are going to see that tape and they say, hey, here's your opportunity to create some pressure. And just like any quarterback as great as Mahomes is, under pressure, throws picks. I think Cincinnati goes in for the second straight year and wins the AFC title.
BuffaloNews.com columnist Ryan O'Halloran writing, covering the Bills and Bengals on Twitter at Ryan O'Halloran. And the next time maybe might be when the Broncos hire Sean Payton. Ryan, just get ready.
Well, have a good Easter. Have a good 4th of July.
All right. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. All right. Good stuff. Ryan O'Halloran, BuffaloNews.com, sports writer, covering the Bills Bengals yesterday as the Bills go down. And he said they got a lot of questions to ponder and try and answer. The Bills made the AFC Championship. The AFC Divisional, gave that game away last year at Kansas City. And that's when that happened last year, when the Chiefs scored with 13 seconds left, whatever it was, 12, 13, 14. I said, this was a monumental loss for the Bills. And everyone said, oh, they have everybody back. They're going to be back there. Well, they got back to the AFC Divisional, and it's tough to win. That's why I never thought the Chiefs would just go on this run, Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl. It's been tough since they've won one, right? That's the NFL. The Bills were knocking on the door. If they would have won at Kansas City, look out. I think they go on to win and beat the Bengals last year. And now they find themselves in a loss last year at KC, now lost to the Bengals in Buffalo. It's hard to get back on top. Into the Drive at 5 on this Monday. So the NFL has been throwing some things around for like a championship Sunday. So we're going to watch the AFC and NFC championship this Sunday, okay? The NFL may have some new ideas for this game. What should we think of it? Next.
Did you miss an interview or great segment on The Nate Brown Show? Just find The Nate Brown Show podcast and listen wherever you download your podcasts.
At Denny Manhole Rushmore Honda, we have a lot full of used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Shop imports and domestics. Many are local one-owner trade-ins. Plus, the area's best selection of used Hondas and Honda Certified Pre-Owned with financing as low as 3.49 APR. Or buy any used with no money down and make no payments for 90 days. See us at Denny Manhole Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com. Financing on select Certified Pre-Owned. Length of contract is limited. Offer expires 2/28/23. Offers with qualified credit.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
We're all going somewhere, going higher, faster, farther, going in new directions, to new places. At Monument Health, we keep going so you can keep going. We're dedicated to advanced orthopedic care with the latest innovations, technology, expertise, and treatment. So keep exploring, keep making memories, keep going with Monument Health as your partner. Learn more at monument.health/orthopedics.
For all your office, shop, and storage needs, contact Quality Commercial Properties, LLC at Samco Business Plaza. Quality, affordable, reliable. For the best rate, best facility, and best customer service, it's Quality Commercial Properties, LLC at Samco Business Plaza. There really is nothing better on the west side of Rapid City. Call 605-721-9777. Quality Commercial Properties, LLC at Samco Business Plaza.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
Hey, it's Chris Broussard. Remember to catch the Odd Couple weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, let's get back to Rapid City Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show.
Hey, welcome back on a Monday. The Drive at 5 on the Nate Brown Show, brought to you by Summit Automotive Group. When it comes to pre-owned vehicles right now, it's kind of hard to find the right one at the right price. Summit has a great selection. SUVs, trucks, cars. Car buying truly built around you. Find out the Summit difference. Start at summitautogrp.com on your phone. Take a look at the inventory up there. And Stacy and Matt, they'll get you into the right vehicle with the right financing. SummitAutoGRP.com. The Drive at 5 of the Nate Brown Show featuring John Stiegelmeier coming up. South Dakota State longtime head football coach. Going to give one more interview until he sails off into retirement here on the program tonight. We'll talk to Coach Stig after 26 years at the helm. He announced his retirement. We'll ask him about his career and what's next. John Stiegelmeier live from Brookings coming up. Okay, I have to get into this. The NFL has been throwing around this idea for a while, and now it's kind of gaining some steam, and it wouldn't surprise me if they do this sometime. So here's what's happening. AFC and NFC championship games are controlled by the NFL. The other playoff games are not. So what that means is the NFL could capitalize more on the AFC and NFC championship games more than they are, meaning they have been throwing around putting these games at neutral sites. So this game would have been at a neutral site. For example, if the Bills won yesterday because of the Damar Hamlin situation, the cancellation of that game, that AFC championship would have been in Atlanta, but now it's fine. The Bills got bounced, and so it's going to be at KC. But that brought this up again, and the owners have talked about this before. Hey, the NFL controls the AFC and NFC championship games. What if we didn't put those at the home teams, the number one seed? So Kansas City hosting Sunday, Philadelphia hosting Sunday. What if we moved those to a neutral site? Why would the NFL do that, you say? Man, that would tick off the fans of the home team. Man, the Chiefs fans were already whining anyways if they would have had to go to Atlanta. Why would they do that? They wouldn't want to tick off the fans or anything like that, right? Here's what they could do. Think about this. AFC and NFC championship. There's a couple of big things that they could do. They could slap naming rights on this thing. So the college football playoff, for example, that's the story. It's brought to you by whoever, and it's at a neutral site, the college football playoff. They could do the same thing with this. Yeah, bring in more dollars. Let's get some naming rights on this thing. Let's hype this puppy up. So just like the Super Bowl at a neutral site, they could also now get bids from many cities across the country that built Super Bowl stadiums. They only get the Super Bowl once in a blue moon. Well, now I could get something like the Super Bowl, the AFC Championship, or I could bid for the NFC Championship. So these stadiums in Minneapolis, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, SoFi, some of these major new stadiums, maybe they don't have the Super Bowl this year, but they might get the AFC Championship. So you know those cities and those communities are, hey, we could make some dollars on this puppy right here. You want to talk about economic impact. So you start going through the list of why the NFL would think about doing the neutral site. Well, it's about the dollars. It doesn't surprise us. It's business. Hey, we could sell a naming rights sponsorship. Boom. We could get bids from cities to host. Boom. We could make more dollars on this thing. We could sell suites and tickets because we have control over these. Why do we want to split this with the Chiefs or the Eagles? Man, they got their hometown fans. Well, that's nice, but we want to commercialize this thing even more. So I get it. It's not a stunner. I didn't know these discussions were happening. This reporting's been going on the last couple of days that, hey, the NFL has thought about this before. It just hasn't risen to the level of owners voting on this. Will it one day? Something tells me it might. I don't know if they would battle this PR game as much as they want to. I don't know if they take it that far, but something tells me it might, and it's just going to have to be that money. How much money could they make? How much more money could they make? They're already printing money in the NFL, but could this take them over the top? I just went through it. Bids, sponsorships, we get tickets, inventory, suites, just like a Super Bowl, but it's not. Now we could take it to neutral sites. Then, nobody would. They'd complain for a little while, and then they'd get over it. That's what the NFL usually does. Well, fans will complain for a little while. They'll get over it, and now we'll make even more money off this and treat it like a college football playoff. By the way, how do I feel on it? I'm giving reasons why they do it. How do I feel on it? That's a mess. That's a total mess. If I'm the number one seed in the league, and I worked through a 17-game regular season, and I got the number one seed, you better believe I deserve the home field. That's what I'm playing for. That's what the Chiefs and the Bengals and the Bills were playing for. That's what gives you that edge. Well, what do you mean? You still get a bye as the number one seed? That's fine. I want the bye, and I want the home field at the AFC NFC Championship. I got to have it. There's everything that the NFL's making plenty of money. Plenty of money. Enough? Well, I guess we'll find out. The owners, will they ever vote on this? It's been thrown around. And now with this possibility of doing it, if the Bills would have won, they even, kind of bringing it up again. It's easy to see why. I think it's a total disaster. It's just taking it down this road. So now the number one seeds don't get to host. those fans that have invested their time, money, the whole thing. I got season tickets as a Chiefs fan or an Eagles fan, or here in a year or two, a Broncos fan. We don't get to go watch the AFC Championship with Russell Wilson taking the Broncos back to the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm mad. Yeah, it'll happen. Just wait. Just be patient. Coming right back with John Stiegelmeier, South Dakota State head football coach, next.
This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show, on FoxSportsRapidCity.com and live on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Are new windows from Renewal by Andersen a great investment? You're darn right they are. Did you know that for less than your cable bill or cell phone bill each month, you could have new windows from Renewal by Andersen right now? Do the math. Renewal by Andersen windows will likely cut your energy bills significantly. They will likely substantially increase the value of your home. They're a great investment. Please contact our team now and ask about our fantastic financing options with approved credit right now. Renewal by Andersen, a great investment? You're darn right.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Chance for snow tonight, otherwise partly cloudy skies. Lows level off around 23, winds out of the southwest 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy skies expected tomorrow, highs level off around 41. Overcast skies tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 25. About an inch of snow Wednesday through Wednesday night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 30.
Black Hills Works is hiring full-time behavioral health technicians for evening, weekend, and overnight shifts with competitive wages of $22 per hour. As a behavioral health clinician at Black Hills Works, you will provide supports working directly with people who are experiencing high mental health needs, providing them with opportunities to overcome their behavioral challenges. You will assist people to reach their goals, providing education, role modeling, and encouragement. Make a positive impact in our community. Apply today at careers.blackhillsworks.org.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio. Sales, service, and recreation. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back into the Drive at 5, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, the Nate Brown Show, live on Fox Sports Rapid City. 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Bring us up on your phone, foxsportsrapidcity.com. Live stream there. Well, John Stiegelmeier announced his retirement last Thursday, right as we were coming on the show. 26 years, winningest coach in program history for the Jackrabbits. And now he's moving on. And John Stiegelmeier joining us on the Nate Brown Show tonight, one more time at least, unless he wants to be like a football analyst for us this next season. We'll see. He's going to be busy from what I hear. South Dakota State, longtime head coach. Coach, good to have you back on. How are you?
We are blessed. It's great to be on with you, and I've cherished these times with you because you do such a super job. But we're really blessed.
Well, I appreciate your time all throughout the seasons. We've had you on a lot, and I said, well, we're going to do it one more time, and I know you've been talking to people a lot, so I appreciate you coming on, and your schedule is hopefully going to get less busy. So let's go back to it, though, the discussion you've had with me, and people asked you about this after you won the game. You waited. You didn't wait too long, but you waited and went through some things. What was the hard thing about this, Coach, this decision, or was this kind of settled with you and your wife?
No, it was hard. Literally, we've spent the last 26 years, maybe almost weekly, looking at each other, and I'm serious, saying, can you believe the dream we're living? And, some people want to be CEOs. Some people want to, coach in the NFL. This was a dream come true. And so it was hard, yes, but some things aligned.
it was very important for us to have one of our guys, if you will, if I can say that, one of the guys in the hallway become the head coach and take care of the other coaches so that there wasn't a bunch of people losing their jobs. And so that aligned. It was time, hard on our family, hard on me, but it's time.
Okay, so I look at it and I say 26 years as head coach at South Dakota State. You won a lot of games, so 199. Why did you stay at South Dakota State that long? I would assume you maybe had some other opportunities. What did you decide throughout those years?
We had, my wife and I had a really defining year in football, and we were at a program that was really good and run by really good people, but it was not like we wanted to do it. Not because we're different, is what I'm saying, and so we found a place where we could keep our priorities the priorities, and for us it's faith, then our family, and then football. And surely we spent a lot of time on football, but the other ones did not have to suffer because of my job, and that was important to us. And don't forget, Nate, I was DB coach, I was linebacker coordinator, I was Division II head coach, Division I head coach. So I made a lot of professional moves in the hallways of South Dakota State. So that was really fulfilling also.
This is John Stiegelmeier on tonight, just retired as head coach for the Jackrabbit football program. We've had him on Fox Sports Rapid City all throughout the years and appreciate him coming on. I want to ask you about your assistants. I look at some of these guys, and I've talked about it on the show, the Clark Lees. I mean, there's some of these guys that have been with you, and they've gone on to be head coaches at great programs and really high level. What do you credit with your ability to hire these coaches? What did you see? And he's not the only one. You got Idaho's head coach now, just went there, and he's turning that program around. How do you credit yourself with getting the right folks around you?
Well, I've talked to our D-line coach, Christian Smith, just took a job with Northwestern in the Big Ten. And we talked about his interview, and he said he's never experienced or witnessed a more thorough interview than we do at South Dakota State. And so in answer to your question, we don't just hire a guy that's recommended. We don't just hire a guy that we worked with. Our players deserve the very best coach at their position. And so we're very thorough. We go way beyond X's and O's. And ideally, just like with a recruit, you want somebody that fits, and ideally you find the guy that fits.
John Stiegelmeier on tonight here on the Nate Brown Show. A couple more, and I'll let him run into retirement. So I look at your style, Coach, and some people say, hey, you're not a yeller, not cussing this guy out and that way. How did you motivate? How did you challenge the players to continue to grow, your staff, to reach championship levels? It seemed like you did it a little differently than some coaches.
Well, the way, God made us all different. So shame on me if I was not the way God made me. And I really believe, my family was all farmers. And I really believe that the plan in my life was to be a coach. And so what I decided early in my career is the easiest thing to do is be yourself. And, profanity is not part of our lifestyle. Threatening people is not part of our lifestyle. I think love is the greatest motivating factor there is. So if I can look at a 600 or 300-pound, 6'8" offensive tackle and say I love you, and he gives me a hug pregame, I think that's pretty cool. And for me, that was the right way to do it.
Okay, let me ask you about this, Coach. You said, hey, it's nice that this guy that's been here is going to take over for me. Jimmy Rogers, defensive coordinator. You have a long history with him. He played for you. Talk about what his attributes will be, do you believe, taking over?
Phenomenal work ethic, very, very sound football coach. But like with a lot of people, a lot of positions, one of the most important factors is passion. Boy, if you have a passion like you do for your job, and I did for my job, and Coach Rogers has for his job and his university, there's no needing to somebody slap you on the back and say, let's get going. in the morning. I mean, it's built in. It's intrinsic. It is the kind of motivation you want. And his passion for SDSU. If people knew what he had given up to wait for this moment, this is really, really special for him.
Jimmy Rogers taking over as head coach for John Stiegelmeier at South Dakota State. Coach Stig on tonight here on Fox Sports Rapid City. You said it was a hard decision. What was the hardest part?
The players. We have what I would consider, I'm a bit subjective, but consider some of the elite student athletes at the FCS level. And I use the term student athletes, and I mean guys that are serious about academics and serious about competing for a championship on the field and off the field. And so, I get my joy through them. I weep with them when things are tough, or an individual when it's tough. And so I said goodbye to 110 family members on Thursday, essentially, and that's not easy to do, but Lori was there with me, and it was the right thing to do.
Okay, so now as you move forward, Coach, I'm going to ask you, what do you want to do? Is it relax, family? Is it, well, I've still got to be involved in some football and doing some stuff? What are you going to do?
You know this, that being in sports, my wife has been married to football and John Stiegelmeier for the last 43 years. And it wasn't part of our mentality that she could say, let's go do this. The job dictated what we could do, and that was a huge blessing. It was a dream come true. So my mindset is to literally serve my wife and what she wants. She claims she has 26 years of deferred maintenance on her house, so there's a few jobs I need to take care of, and some leaves to look at in Vermont someday. And so I can't wait to do that because she's been the best head coach's wife anyone could have.
Well, I got to tell you, unbelievable career. So many people say so many great things about you that know you personally, and you did a lot of winning at South Dakota State. Great career and a lot of impact on players and that community. I know that. John Stiegelmeier on tonight. South Dakota State longtime head coach. Coach, we'll talk to you again, I hope, down the road, and wish you the best as you get some time off. And thanks for coming on throughout the years.
Well, Nate, I've appreciated you and your approach, and I do hope we get to talk down the road and get an update on each other's lives, right? God bless you.
I appreciate that. Thanks to John Stiegelmeier coming on. Wish him the best. He's going to just take some time to relax, right? That's what he should do. South Dakota State head football coach, 26 years at the helm, and he's stepping aside for new head coach Jimmy Rogers. Jimmy Rogers played for John Stiegelmeier 2006 to 2009, so kind of gives you his age in there. Pretty young guy, I can say that. Pretty young guy. And now stepping in, he said, boy, he gave up some opportunities to wait and hopefully get this one. And he did. And those assistants for John Stiegelmeier over the years have gone on to be head coaches. Clark Lee went to Notre Dame as a D coordinator. Now he's the head coach at Vanderbilt in the SEC. So, for example, I bring up Clark because we had him on the show. And you could talk about, what he got out of being an assistant at SDSU and where he's went. And there's been some great steps taken by these assistants. I think that's the thing about Coach Stig, I'll say. His approach was unique in this day and age of motivation, and some approaches are different. His approach was unique. Built a family, built a culture there. It really did seem different at South Dakota State. They haven't had players leaving every which way in the portal and all sorts of tumultuous times. It was hard building a program at SDSU because you were going up against NDSU. Some funds started coming in. That helped. A facility, and then winning helped. And Coach Stig hired unbelievable assistant coaches. I mean, these guys were really, really good. So he built a lot of things, a lot of ways a leader, and then goes out on top as a winner. National champion, FCS national title in his last game. That was a great walk-off there. And I appreciate Coach Stiegelmeier. Every time I've talked to him, he's as good a guy on the air. A lot of guys, some guys you'll talk to, they're really good on the air. Then you'll talk to them off the air. Oh, yeah, take care. Maybe. They might say that. They might not. Coach Stig's always talking about this, talking about that. It's been genuine to me, and from the time I've started. And that always tells you a little bit of something, not just, I'm kind of doing this just to do it. Oh, yeah, I need to go on out in Rapid City because there's Jackrabbit alums. And, okay, I guess I'll do it every now and then. Darn near every time I've asked him, he's come on. Unless there was, I have a meeting or I have this. Darn near every time over the last 5 years I've asked him, he's come on. I appreciate that because a lot of guys don't do that. I mean, there's guys that they're in it for themselves or their program, so to speak. And yeah, I guess I better do this. He's been genuine, and that goes a long way. And I think that's how that program has been built. I really think it matters. Sometimes the best coaches don't have to be the yeller, screamers, people that go nuts. John did it pretty well for a long time, his style. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
I always enjoy your interviews with him, always.
I appreciate that. He's a good guy. Good guy.
Class act. Comes to, neutral sites, I think it's a terrible idea. I mean...
I'm with you. You can't do that, right?
And you're going to see lots of changes, in the near future. It's a greedy machine, the NFL. And so, just like the English Premier League, you see they have their colors, but they don't have their logos on their shirts or anything like that. It's like a very small logo. And then you got Mitel going across.
When's that coming? Right.
That's going to be very soon, I would guess.
They can't make enough money, right? I mean, they're making enough, but it's not enough.
No, it's a greedy machine. But
so you think we might see it? Neutral site, AFC title, NFC, whichever?
I have a feeling, yeah.
All right, buddy, I'm with you on that. It might. I don't know how soon. Thanks for getting in. I appreciate that. I don't know how soon, but again, it's how much more money can we make for the NFL? I guess quite a bit more. Okay, we're going to talk to Adam Dannenbring, the Stevens girls basketball coach. They're on a roll. But first, on a Monday, 5 questions from Chris. I've got 5 answers from our loyal listener, Chris. Let's go next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Remember, the NFL playoffs are on at Tin Lizzy BetMGM Sportsbook, Main Street, Deadwood. If you want to experience the NFL playoffs in style with the best food, really great service, brand new 4K TVs, you got to get to Tin Lizzy BetMGM Sportsbook. Every game is on at Tin Lizzy. Don't miss the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl at the King of Sportsbooks, BetMGM Sportsbook at Tin Lizzy. Make your play at Tin Lizzy. What game are you betting on?
Honey, would you hand me that chair leg, please?
The one from the mahogany dining room set or the oak chair from the living room set?
Oh, the oak ones. I think they smell better.
Here.
Oh, thank you. Feel that heat.
Honey.
Yeah.
Instead of burning the furniture in our house to stay warm, can't we just get replacement windows?
Honey, we've been through this. Those window companies subcontract the work out, and once they get started, well, good luck seeing them again.
Not if we use Renewal by Andersen. They only do windows, no subcontractors. Plus, they use certified master installers.
All they're going to do is go to a home repair store and pick something off the rack. Heck, I can do that. Oh, hand me that coffee tabletop, please.
No, they have in-home consultations, and they're 100% custom. Plus, they're energy efficient, low maintenance, and we won't have to burn any of our own furniture.
Okay, I'll call in the morning. In the meantime, do you still have that makeup table you had as a kid? I mean, it's all solid.
For a perfect fit, call 605-341-7831. Renewal by Andersen of South Dakota.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio. Sales, service, and recreation. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
All right, welcome back in. Your Sports, Your Show, the Nate Brown Show on a Monday. Fox Sports Rapid City. 106.7 FM, 1150 AM on the radio side. Bring us up right there, foxsportsrapidcity.com. Always on your phone, tablet, computer. On your work computer, it works really well, I've been told. You get a lot of work done. foxsportsrapidcity.com in the background. Yelling at Nate Brown in the background. I mean, it's productive. It gets you fired up. Somebody's yelling on the text line here at me. Hang on. I want to pull this up. Nate, I like the idea of neutral sites, exclamation point. It's not a bad idea, 2 exclamation points. We do it for college football playoff. The NFL should do it for the AFC and NFC championship. I like the neutral sites. And you're the only one. Anyway, sorry. Good stuff. All right, let's go with 5 questions from Chris. 5 questions from Chris on a Monday. We're shifting it to a Monday just because Chris has so much on his mind. He throws them 5 questions from Chris to the Nate Brown Show. Let's go. Question number 1. Nate, 5 Major League Baseball teams last year didn't send their play-by-play teams to various away games. The Angels weren't sending their play-by-play commentators to any away games, but that ended. They finally had to. But more recently, ESPN coverage of the Australian Open tennis, the play-by-play is being done in campus in Connecticut. Do the professional sports teams and program providers owe the fans the true experience of having their announcers at the game in person? Well, of course, Chris. Of course, but I knew this was going to happen. This started during the COVID times. Hey, we're going to not send our announcers to the games, and they're going to watch it on the monitors, and they're going to act like they're there. I get it. The casual fan probably doesn't know it. They don't understand it. But me as a broadcaster, I get it. I do. I get it. And you can tell, I mean, some of the stuff is poor, and it's the company saying, I'm not going to send people to the games. It'd be like me, the Nate Brown Show, saying, oh, well, we're not going to send Jerome Wickersham and Dean Gurr over to there to Sioux Falls to cover the game. We've done that. We do that. We're the only ones left doing it. We send them to Sioux Falls to cover the game. Yeah, it happens. You got to do it, guys. But I knew this was going to happen. Some of these big networks say, hey, it's not a big deal. We can broadcast these college basketball games from the comfort of wherever, and we don't have to spend the airline. I get it. I don't like it. It's a bad look. I don't like the way it looks or sounds half the time. Question number 2. Speaking of saving a buck, the World Olympic Committee usually announces the next host city for the Olympics before the end of the year so they can get a full 7 years to build and plan for the Olympics. The committee was supposed to announce the host city for the 2030 Winter Olympics, but now some issues have popped up. They say there's one true viable city, Salt Lake City, and 2 cities have dropped out. With the huge costs, do you like the idea of the Olympic Committee just choosing and rotating between 3 or 4 permanent sites and cities? Do you like the Olympic Committee? Should they choose 3 or 4 permanent sites and cities to cut down on costs? Absolutely, Chris. Absolutely. I've said this. I know the Olympics is supposed to be a world stage, highlight cities around the world, bring the world together. I understand the gist of it. I get what sports can do, and I like the Olympics. I do. The costs are unbelievable. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And the games that are played and the money and the whole thing, it just seems dirty. It seems ugly. It seems like a waste. We build these arenas. We build these ski slopes. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Just pick 3 or 4, rotate them. I'm good with it. I mean, it's just out of control, the Olympic and the money. Okay, question number 3. Oh, here it is. Chris asking about the NFL looking at neutral sites. How soon do you think we will see a AFC or NFC conference championship game at a neutral stadium if that's what the NFL wants to do in the future? How soon do you think, Chris? By 2030? By 2030? Can I just go with that? When the next Winter Olympics will be here in the U.S., we'll be watching the AFC Championship. The Broncos are in the AFC Championship. It's the number 1 seed. We could go down to Denver and watch. Oh, no, we can't. It's going to be in Atlanta. How fun. Goody, goody. Question number 4. Minnesota Twins traded the current AL batting champion, Luis Arraez, to the Marlins. Last time a current batting champion was traded to the offseason was 1978, Nate. Do you think the Twins traded Luis Arraez to the Marlins because he only had 1 year left and they didn't want to pay him because he's going to be a free agent? Or was it the right call? They needed a frontline pitcher. I think that was a bad trade. I don't know why they did it. Probably weren't going to pay him a big dollar amount. If he had another great year, he's going to get even more dollars. They just paid pretty big there for Correa. Luis Arise, great player, was knocking it around for the Twins. They're going to pay Arise and Correa. I think that's why they did it. Not a good trade. Okay, they got a frontline pitcher. Not a good trade. I don't like it. Oh, they got prospects. Oh, thank you. I love the prospects trade. I hate prospects trades. Those prospects, they're few and far between. You know this. Last question, number 5. Last week, news broke that a highly recruited 4 or 5-star quarterback, Jaden Rashada, signed to go play for the University of Florida. And there was a collective, NIL collective, that offered to pay him up to $14 million. Then it came out that that collective wasn't going to pay him the $14 million. They weren't even going to get close. So, Nate, you've said it's the Wild West in dealing with these NIL collectives. If these collectives make promises, then backtrack. Who or what will enforce the promise? Nobody, Chris. That's the problem. I mean, you got the NCAA's upset with Michigan because they made some recruiting visits. Honestly, the NCAA's upset. Well, they made some recruiting visits during a dead period. But you've got the Florida collective offered up to $14 million allegedly to get a quarterback, and then he said, "Yeah, I'll come there." And then they said, "No, we don't we don't have $14 million." It's a problem, and the NCAA can do nothing about it. Nobody can do a thing about it. It's an absolute mess. The NCAA wanted out of that business, and now they have no control over their own business. 5 questions from Chris in the books. Adam Dannenbring is next, Stevens girls basketball coach. Boy, they've won a lot of games. He's on the way.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show.
At Ace Steel and Recycling in Rapid City, our goal is to make recycling your materials so quick, so easy, and so profitable that you'll become a lifetime recycler. At Ace Steel and Recycling, we buy, process, and ship scrap iron, automobiles, stainless steel, and aluminum, including cans and cast. We also buy insulated wiring, as well as copper, brass, lead, batteries, zinc, and tungsten carbide. Visit acesteelusa.com or give us a call at 342-8649. Ace Steel and Recycling, 2830 Eglin Street, Rapid City.
With 2 locations in Rapid City, Pizza Ranch is ready to serve your family. Every Wednesday is Kids Day. This is the best deal out there with the best buffet in town. One child 12 and under eats free for every regular priced adult at the Pizza Ranch Buffet Wednesdays. And don't forget their senior special every Tuesday for $8.99. The Pizza Ranch Buffet. It's all good at the Pizza Ranch with 2 locations in Rapid City. And remember, daily online specials for carryout or delivery at PizzaRanch.com.
Danny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet is looking for a few great folks to join our team. We have immediate openings for automotive techs and body shop techs. We offer a family-owned environment, state-of-the-art equipment and facilities, tool assistance, tuition reimbursement, training, paid vacation, 401k, health, dental, and vision insurance, and of course, a very competitive salary. If you're looking for a fresh start, apply in person at Danny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet or apply online at DannyMenholtRapidChevrolet.com under the Dealer Info Employment tab.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio. Sales, service, and recreation. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey, welcome back in. Your sports, your show, and your home for high school sports all season long. Fox Sports Rapid City. Live coverage all season, girls, boys basketball. I'll tell you, the Stevens girls program rolling right now. They're 9-2, reeled off a lot of wins here. Adam Dannenbring's the head coach for the Stevens girls. Raiders playing well. Just won a couple this past weekend. Adam Dannenbring back on Fox Sports Rapid City. Coach, good to have you on. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. I mean, what a fantastic way to start this interview. Like, I get to hear owner of a lonely heart, and then before that, you had a Pizza Ranch commercial on there, and we have a Pizza Ranch fundraiser tonight on the South Side. So if people are interested in coming down to support the girls basketball team, like, they could definitely come down and help us out. We appreciate it.
That works all the way around. I endorse the Pizza Ranch fundraiser tonight. Get down and support the Raiders and eat well. By the way, as I said, you guys are playing well, so I'm going to ask you what you've seen from your team here. Early on, it's kind of hard. Sometimes you're like, well, there was some bumps along the road there early on. Now it seems as though you're playing really, really well. Has there been a difference for you?
I think, just the girls learning what, just playing in different roles and getting used to playing with each other. We graduated a lot of girls from last year, and sometimes it just takes time to gel. And we've had girls that have, accepted their roles on their team, if they're a starter or if they're coming off the bench or if they're, someone who's on the bench and cheering us on. I mean, and that's all important. It's all important to have, your whole team that is supporting each other and they're working hard together to improve every day in practice. And they've watched film really well and learned when we've been trying to teach. And, they've kind of carried over some of the things that we've been doing in practice to the games. That's been good.
Adam Dannenbring on. The Stevens girls are 9-2. They're on a winning streak right now. I'll ask you about how you're shooting the basketball. Is this team a good shooting team from three?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We started off the season, kind of cold, and we had a rough night, and that's the way it kind of goes with three-pointers. We had a rough day, actually, on Saturday against Brookings, where we didn't shoot a great percentage that day. I think it was like right around 33% from three, but our two-point shooting wasn't great that day. But, overall, I mean, I was looking at our effective field goal percentage, and we have, a bunch of girls on our team that have an effective field goal percentage over 40%, and that means, you're probably shooting the three-pointer pretty well. And, there's been a few games this year, the Watertown game, the Roosevelt game, where, there's not much you can do with us if we're hitting, 50% of our three-pointers.
Yeah, I've seen that. These players can light it up at times. And with that, it's kind of like, okay, sometimes you can live by the three, die by the three. Does that worry you at all? Or can this team score in various ways?
I think that we can score in different ways, yeah. But, as a coach, you're always scared all the time, like I am at least, I guess. I think I'm worried all the time about things that, I'm hoping that we can get control of. But, yeah, sometimes you do live by the three and die by the three. But I think with our team, we've been getting to the free throw line a lot. We've been getting to the free throw line more than our opponents have, which is always a good sign. And we get some people that turn the ball over on occasion, so we'll get some fast break runouts that way. And those are definitely great ways to score as well.
That's what I wanted to ask you. I look at your team. You're not the tallest, and it looks like you get after teams defensively. You want to play kind of a fast pace. Is that going to be this team against some of these teams out East River? I've seen some height.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's I think we are the shortest team in South Dakota. I really do as far as AA schools. Our tallest girl that plays a lot is maybe 5'9". So we have to make sure that we push the basketball up the floor. We have to pressure teams. We can't make it easy for them to throw the ball into the post. And then the hardest part for us, I think, is just making sure we take care of defensive rebounding. When we defensive rebound, then we're a fantastic team. We're just a fantastic team. We don't give teams second chances, and then we can get out and run. That's really going to be the key for us.
Adam Dannenbring on tonight. One more for the Stevens girls basketball coach. They're 9-2 after back-to-back appearances in the state AA championship game. So this team coming together. I'll ask you, how confident are they right now through this winning streak?
I think it's just kind of building, and it was pretty. It was pretty awesome that we were able to win a game on Saturday that we didn't shoot the ball well. Our defense was still there. We held Brookings to 39 points. That's definitely a confidence builder here as we keep going. But I just try to take it one day at a time, and we try to get better one day at a time here in practice. And then we got Mitchell's next, and then here on Saturday. So that's really what we're focused on right now.
Adam Dannenbring on tonight, and the fundraiser for the Stevens girls basketball program at Pizza Ranch tonight. So get to Pizza Ranch, enjoy a nice meal. What are we serving tonight? I'm sure they're just great servers.
Yeah, well, they're going to be around. They're going to be helping clean up the plates and take care of that. And then they're pretty friendly, and they'll talk with you. Also, I'll lay out a challenge if anyone wants to see if they can eat more calories than me. That's definitely a challenge.
Okay. So. Careful on that one, Coach. I know. Stevens girls basketball coach. They're 9-2. It's Adam Dannenbring on tonight. The Raider girls playing well. Coach, good to have you. Thanks a lot.
Yep, thank you. Have a good one.
All right, we'll cover Stevens girls basketball all season long as we've had a lot of games on the air and they're starting to play well. Really are. 9-2. Got a nice winning streak going, and that's a team to watch now to the top 5 in AA girls basketball. Back-to-back state championship appearances for the Raiders. All right. On a Monday, who's hot and who's not? I've got some quality candidates in my who's hot and who's not, and we'll finish the show next.
In 2023, First Gold Gaming Resort continues to be Deadwood's most rewarding gaming destination. Every Friday through Sunday, win your share of $8,600 in promo play through hot seat drawings. Don't miss the Lucky $7,000 giveaway on Saturday nights, where we draw for $1,000 cash winners every hour from 5 till 11 p.m. And on Saturday, January 28th, it's the GOAT of all giveaways, the $18,000 Golden Cash Blast. First Gold Gaming Resort. It's where Deadwood begins and the winning never ends.
Did you know Highmark Credit Union was started as Rapid City Teachers Federal Credit Union over 80 years ago in what was known as Rapid City High School? We're proud of our legacy in education and affordable solutions for our community. Today, Highmark provides a full range of consumer products and commercial lending services to thousands of area members in western South Dakota. Consider joining Highmark. We'll make it happen. HighmarkFCU.com.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in South Dakota for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio. Sales, service, and recreation. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
All right, let's roll on a Monday. Who's hot, who's not, sending you out the door and into the Pizza Ranch, right? Pizza Ranch tonight, great place. As always, the Pizza Ranch Buffet open till 8 tonight. Remember, Wednesday, 2 kids night. One child 12 and under eats free for every regular priced adult. The Pizza Ranch Buffet Wednesdays. Pizza Ranch, who's hot and who's not on the Nate Brown Show. In my who's hot category, I'll just go with this, okay? I'll go with this. I got to give some credit to John Stiegelmeier one more time. One more time, John Stiegelmeier retiring as South Dakota State head football coach. You're not going to see that very often anymore. A guy staying 26 years, and he was there as an assistant coach, long time, the longest tenured coach there, the winningest coach in program history, and I just don't think you're going to see that very often in the sports world anymore. You see coaches moving, shaking, looking for this, looking for that. John Stiegelmeier was a staple, and he made it about not just about himself. He made you feel special, whoever you're talking to, as he ran that program. One more time for John Stiegelmeier in our Who's Hot category. The winningest coach in program history, 199 wins, and going out a national champion. We had John on tonight one more time on the Nate Brown Show. Congrats on a great career, and I just think he did it the right way and stayed there a long time. You're not going to see that very often in college sports anymore. In our Who's Not category tonight, well, I hate to tell you, it's got to be the Minnesota Twins. I think that deal to trade away Luis Arraez, batting champion, the Twins were acting like they want to compete. They're going to pay Correa, and then they trade Arraez to the Marlins, and they get a pitcher. I can't have it. I mean, this isn't like you're just trading away some mid-range guy. Trading away the guy who led your team in hitting, the batting champion. And the Twins traded him away. there's got to be some better thoughts behind that other than, well, we got some prospects too. Do they think Arise is declining? It didn't look like it. I hated it over the weekend. Arise getting traded away to the Marlins from the Twins. Thanks for listening to the program. The Nate Brown Show podcast going up tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow at 4 with another great show ready to roll. Thanks for listening, and The Odd Couple's on right now.
And Kansas City.